the ASAP Rocky Travis Scott saga. It is continuing to where ASAP Rocky signed a deal with Ray-Bans into the brand's first ever creative director position. So, big moves for Rocky. He's making all the right moves here in terms of money. Now, music, that's a different conversation. But for now, we'll talk about just his deal with Ray-Ban right now. So it says, out of court and acquitted, A$AP Rocky steps onto the scene as the first ever creative director of Ray-Ban's eyewear. The announcement came Friday, February 21st, just days after his acquittal in the Los Angeles felony assault trial. Known for his deep ties to fashion, Rocky has appeared in major campaigns, collaborated with Puma, and now serves as co-chair for the 2025 Met Gala. In his new role, he will lead creative initiatives and help shape Ray-Ban's future through its Ray-Ban Studios division. So I think this is probably the most important part right here, is that he's going to lead creative initiatives and help shape Ray-Ban's future through its Ray-Ban's studio division. Then furthermore, it says his project launches in April with the brand's Blacked Out collection, a modern take on Ray-Ban's mega icon line featuring bold reimagined frames with gold-plated details. Okay, so this basically just describes the glasses here. It says Rocky's role allows him to create custom eyewear, direct campaigns, and redesign retail spaces with influences from music, fashion, and the arts. I've always admired Ray-Ban's ability to evolve while staying true to its roots, Rocky said. I'm excited to contribute to its legacy and help shape the future of an iconic brand. So I think, Ray-Ban did a great job at capitalizing really on the hype of Rocky getting off of his trial and taking advantage of, Rihanna's fiance at this point. But W Rocky. Here it says he's also keeping fans on the edge with teasers for his long-awaited album Don't Be Dumb. Oh my gosh, I want to talk about that so bad. Okay, for now, W. We'll just keep it as a W for now. W business move. He's making business move. Now, we go over to Travis Scott and his career. And what does Travis Scott do? What kind of deal does he get signed? Travis Scott signs with Oakley. So A$AP Rocky signs with Ray-Ban and Travis Scott signs with Oakley. And he was named as the chief visionary. I don't know. It's interesting that like Rocky always says Travis copies him, and then Rocky gets this deal with Ray-Ban, and then Travis just comes out with like this deal with Oakley. It's so funny. Oakley and Travis Scott are officially joining forces on June 23rd, 2025. Oakley named Scott its first ever chief visionary, formalizing what's being called a multi-year creative partnership. So June 23rd, 2025. Rocky was, what did it say? February 21st. So what is that, a 4-month difference, roughly? The move builds on Scott's long-standing connection to the brand, seen most during his Circus Maximus tour, where he consistently rocked Oakley frames. Now that relationship goes far deeper. Hold on. In this new role, Scott and the Cactus Jack team will help shape Oakley's direction across eyewear, apparel, and broader creative projects. This isn't just a cosign, it's a creative seat at the table. Sounds a lot like Rocky's too, bro. Scott will be reimagining Oakley's existing catalog while also pushing the envelope on new silhouettes and ideas. That means tech-forward gear that blends sports, streetwear, and Scott's own dystopian aesthetic. To celebrate the announcement, a limited Day Zero capsule dropped on Scott's site featuring posters and apparel that hint at what's coming. The visuals feel cinematic and on-brand, moody tones, heavy design, and a clear nod to experimentation. So I think this is them right here. This looks like someone from like The Matrix. Like this looks like their glasses. I'm not gonna lie. It's interesting. If we go over to hold on, let's see. ASAP Rocky Drink Champs. Travis Scott. Boom. You can hear Rocky talk about it.
But one thing that kept popping up on the internet is Travis Scott stole his whole style.
Yeah.
From ASAP Rocky.
Yeah. He's trying to figure out how to ask this question.
Thank you for reading my mind. Thank you for reading my mind. Is that something that you entertain?
Nah, you can't feed into petty shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, at this point, that shit trash at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
But did you feel like that at one point?
I mean, I saw similarities for sure.
Right.
You know, I saw that he was inspired and shit like that. But that's what we in it for.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, at this point, that shit trash at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
But did you feel like that at one point?
I mean, I saw similarities for sure.
Right.
You know, I saw that he was inspired and shit like that. But that's what we in it for.
Yeah.
Like, that's good sportsmanship.
Right.
I put it to you like this, like, if niggas wasn't, like, biting off, you know, imitation best form of flattery. If people wasn't trying to imitate you, you're doing something wrong.
So there's Rocky speaking on, you know, at one point feeling like Travis was, you know, copying him a little bit. And I wonder what he thinks about this deal, honestly, because, bro, that's literally like a copy of the deal. Like, there's no way. He's chief visionary of Oakley. Rocky is first ever creative director at Ray-Ban. Creative director and chief visionary literally sound the same, but like different words. Like, that's so crazy. But I will say, to get into something deeper, a deeper discussion, I think Travis Scott made a good move with Oakley, regardless of the beef or, you know, claims of imitation to Rocky. I still think that's a good move for him. I think it would have been a good move for Cardi too. I think, you know, Cardi's always just wearing sunglasses, so I don't know. Definitely would be like a solid deal for Cardi. Travis is an artist that I think realistically is taking his career in the right direction. The way that he has delivered throughout his career, honestly, has been top tier, and I think he's underrated, in all honesty. I know. He's up there probably. I'm not going to say top 5 rappers, but he's definitely top 10, 100%. And I think he needs to be talked about, at least in like the top 100 rappers of all time. I think he's delivered throughout his career, and I wish I could say the same about ASAP Rocky. I'm such a huge fan of ASAP Rocky, but unfortunately, ASAP Rocky is turning into Joey Badass. If you guys don't remember, Joey Badass actually signed a deal and became an actor for a little bit, and was acting on, I believe, Power. I could be wrong about, hold on. He was on Raising Kanan, Wu-Tang. I think Dave East was in this, actually. So he's been in a few things. He's definitely been in a few things. He's also got some credits. Dang, was he really in Creed 2? It's actually really fire. But anyways, Joey Badass, you know, he and we can even look at this cuz I want to pull up the albums and everything and give a fair comparison. So we're going to look up Joey Badass. We're going to go and we're going to look at his albums. And Joey Badass was dropping, I feel like, pretty consistently, like every 2 years. But then you see this 5-year gap right here. And in between this 5-year gap, in 2019, to be fair, he did drop a project with Flatbush Zombies and Beast Coast. That album has since been deleted from all platforms, but you can find it on YouTube or SoundCloud or I'm sure other places as well. Just not on streaming platforms. It did get taken off for some reason, but Joey Badass did have an album with Flatbush Zombies and Beast Coast. But from around 2019 to 2021, mid 2021, which is about a 2 or 3 year gap, he was focused mainly on acting. And he took a break, and a lot of fans were left thinking, you know, what's the deal? Where's the music? And in 2020, he did drop, you know, a 3-pack, but the fans needed an album. The fans needed an album. And I think a lot of fans were getting upset at Joey Badass for not dropping. And he did deliver in 2022. 2000 is actually a really dope album. It's really great. LOL did he feature. It honestly is a really great album. Definitely worth checking out. But those years, that gap, where it felt like everybody was taking time off music, that's what I think Rocky is going into right now. Rocky has not dropped an album since 2018, and that is a giant problem for his career. That is a giant problem for his career. He dropped in 2011, 2013, 2015, and 2018. 2018 was 7 years ago. 2018 was 7 years ago, Chad. And now, he has dropped some singles, but where's the album? There was supposed to be an album called All Smiles. You can probably find it. Let me look this up real quick. All Smiles, ASAP Rocky. You can literally find... I'm not even going to play it, but you can literally find full leaked albums from ASAP Rocky. Hypebeast.com. Hold on. What's the date on this? 2021. ASAP Rocky is currently preparing to release his testing follow-up, tentatively titled All Smiles, which is approximately 90% complete. This was set in 2021. Speaking to GQ in his latest cover story, Flacco called the record a ghetto love tale and shared that it is way more mature than his previous releases. It's all about the evolution, he said, of his approach to All Smiles. If I'm doing the same shit with the same sounds and the same bars and the same visuals from years ago, what's the point? You got that catalog and you can go revisit that. So he's basically saying that in terms of his career, he wants to keep evolving his sounds. And I think that's a really great way to go about your career. I'm not gonna lie. But this just proves that there was another album on the way. 2021, All Smiles was supposed to drop. You can find it if you look it up. Where I found it is on SoundCloud, but you can probably find it on YouTube. Um, and then his album Don't Be Dumb. Let's look that up. Don't Be Dumb, ASAP Rocky. Full album snippets. We got a full album of snippets. We'll go Rap TV. March 5th, 2025. Hold on. ASAP Rocky album. September. Hold on. Yeah. Boom. Alright, so this says, but of course the conversation turned to music when asked about Don't Be Dumb. Rocky gave a refreshingly honest update, acknowledging his fans' frustrations. The project is in the mixing and mastering realm of it, but I think quite frankly, people are tired of hearing about updates about the album. He admitted they're just ready to get this shit, and I don't think anybody wants to hear where I'm at with it, how far along with it is, and all that. I think they just want to hear some shit and where I'm at, and I promise I got some new shit in the store. For those fearing yet another delay, don't worry, Rocky confirmed in the interview that the album is done. I don't want to keep saying what I'm going to do. I just want to give people what I've been promising them for a long ass time. He said, with everything going on in his life and his rap career, Rocky's grateful for the moment. I feel blessed. I feel so lucky to even be here and even talking to you in Milan for A-Band creative directorship. Okay, so basically he just said that it's mostly done. It's getting mixed and mastered. So that means his album's probably turned in. He actually did preview a new snippet too the other day. ASAP Rocky snippet. Is it like some fashion show?
I'm stepping on shit until I smash it. Try to tell them dummies don't be dumb, they went out crashing. Man, I'm high as fuck, they can see my eyes, my Ray-Ban glasses. It's black as shit, I'm about to drop my motherfucking classic.
This might be another story as well eventually, that ASAP Rocky and Space Ghost Perp are back on good terms. Because if he gets that production back, he's gonna be popping, bro. He's gonna be popping. You see what Rob Banks is doing in the second prime that he entered with that production. He just has all around great production, Rob Banks. But you know, Space Ghost Perp and him do be making songs still.